No. Nothing. Oh, none of this helps. Brother Ektar, do we have anything in the librarium that will help me? I'm lost. We need something.
This is an Astropathic message. Direct from Holy Terra.
Oh.
For Brother Captain Dan Zarzana. An Astropathic message.
Patch that in.
Brother Captain.
Patch that message in immediately. Hello? This is Provisional Force Commander Old Man Dan on the Baleful Edict, requesting immediate tactical assistance.
That's great. That's great.
I am in over my head.
It's Old Man Curtis.
Who's it? Hey.
I got the Astronomicon to send
guy.
a signal direct over to the Baleful Edict. Straight from Holy Terra.
How many astropaths did you burn to do that?
At least 1,000.
Oh,
at least 1,000
for the Emperor.
For the Emperor. So, Old Man Dan, I've been watching your episodes of Chaos Gate Daemonhunters.
Yeah,
and
it's fun, right?
It's great. It's great.
Are you having a good time watching?
Part of what I'm having a good time doing is yelling.
Because I like playing.
I
like playing it so much. I can't. Everyone's dying, and all of my soldiers are hurt.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?
But Dan, I've got some bad news.
That's not the vibe that I wanted from. Okay, hit me with it.
This is the
grimdark future.
It is the grimdark future.
And
so
in the grimdark future, there is
truth.
only bad news.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And that is that all of this is your fault. So,
great.
For those who are not aware, I have been a player of the Warhammer 40K game. Started with Old Man Dan and Old Man Scott
in the 90s.
Second edition.
Yeah.
So we've got our Codex Imperialis here.
Wow, you still have that?
Oh yeah.
Incredible. I wonder what happened to my
edition
copy.
Of Index Astartes and the old 4th edition Daemonhunters Codex.
Whoa. That's what we are.
Yes.
The Grey Knights are the Daemonhunters. Was that the impetus? Was
reading
that the
all of this to give you an update as to how you should be running your Grey Knights. Because what you're doing right now is you're still playing XCOM. And you play XCOM wonderfully.
Thank you.
Dan, I'm going to start this with a compliment. You are a very thoughtful, tactical, defensive player. That is also the problem. Because Grey Knights, this is not XCOM. This is not XCOM. This is the grim darkness of the far future where there is only war. And when you've got a 9-foot psychic-powered armored tank man, things are a little different. And so I've come prepared today with a presentation.
Okay.
And it is this. What Dan doesn't know about Grey Knights.
Wait a minute. How much time is this going to take? Because that's pretty much everything.
That is.
This is just a primer.
It is a primer.
Got it.
It is a primer.
Okay. So this is like
not
30 pages or less.
It is not everything.
Got it.
But it is an accumulation of information that may help you to run your games of Chaos Gate Daemonhunters just a little bit better. Just a little bit better, and stop me and Old Man Scott from yelling at you in the screen about the things that you're doing.
Oh, is Old Man Scott upset at me as well?
If you check the Discord, you'll see. You'll see he's got some complaints.
I'll check it later. All right.
All right. So a primer on the Grey Knights. So first of all, Grey Knights in the real world, just to give you a little context and a little history. All right, the Grey Knights have existed since the earliest days of the 40K game. We're talking the Rogue Trader days. This is 1987, 1988.
Wow.
Originally, they were the only exclusive fighting arm for the Inquisition, and they worked for the Inquisition's Ordo Malleus, which still exists in the current 40K timeline. But back in the day, the Inquisition was two things. It was the Inquisition itself, which is autonomous inquisitors, which go around with the authority of the Emperor. But there was a secret cabal called the Ordo Malleus. And the Ordo Malleus were the ones who watched the Watchers. They were like an Inquisition police force. And they particularly looked out for demonic incursions and had the Grey Knights as their chamber militant. It also used to be all Terminators. There was no power armor. It was all Terminators, and they all looked like that guy that I have the picture there, right there.
Okay.
So they all had psychic hoods, this Aegis armor, which is psychically attuned. They've got basically psychic circuitry, not only in their armor, but also sewn into their skin or inlaid in their skin.
Ooh.
So they are super resistant to the powers of the warp.
This guy appears to have the Nemesis Force Halberd equipped.
That's correct, because back in the day, that's all they had. All of them were equipped with the Nemesis Force Halberd.
Oh.
You'll notice that on the tip of it, there's a barrel just above the blade, because it had a bolter incorporated into the halberd.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, and it's very similar to the weapons that the Custodes carry, which are the bodyguards of the Emperor. But we're not talking about them. This is all about the Grey Knights. All about the Grey Knights. So Grey Knights in the Old Fluff, they were the only new chapter created in the second founding according to the Old Fluff. Their chapter number is 666 because they're total edgelords. What you don't know about the Grey Knights in the Old Fluff is that they would just sit listening to death metal and waiting for somebody to call that there were demons, and then they'd go hit them with sticks.
Okay, waiting for their prognosticars to say, hey, something's about to happen.
Those didn't exist yet.
What?
Yeah, no, none of that existed yet. None of that existed yet. Their fortress monastery is on the moon of Titan. That hasn't changed, but it was always a thing. Many, but not all of them, were potent psychers. So this was, in the before times, it was just common to have psychers, but they weren't all psychers. They were shrouded in mystery. All of their origins were shrouded in mystery. It was uncertain where their gene seed came from, but it was rumored to be the Emperor. They were used very sparingly and only against demonic threats. That's it. Just that. Now we've got the Grey Knights and the New Fluff.
Oh gosh, the text is getting smaller and smaller.
It sure is.
Oh gosh.
So the Horus Heresy books, which is the 60 plus volume series of books that talk about the Horus Heresy, which is the Great Civil War between the Imperium and the fallen Space Marine legions that went to chaos.
Yeah, and if you don't know anything about that, check out the YouTube channel Arbiter Ian. Yeah. He is doing a Heresy 101 series where he talks about every single one of the chapters and how they fell on the good side or the bad, right?
Yeah, and you should also watch his History of 40K in 20 minutes. I actually just rewatched that before we did this, and man, it's very complete. Big Arbiter Ian fans here. We're gonna put the links in the doobly doo. So the Horus Heresy books, like I said, added so much detail. I couldn't get into all of it here. I'm gonna riff on some of it, but let's cover what else is in my bullet points.
Okay.
So they're still chapter number 666. They're still total edgelords, but now they're like emo edgelords. Fortress Monastery is still on the moon of Titan, and they were still created in the second founding, But the new lore, and spoilers, if you haven't kept up with the Horus Heresy books, although this isn't too bad of a spoiler, is that Malkador the Sigillite had actually started the Grey Knights project along with the Inquisition project long before the end of the Horus Heresy. And so he took 8 original members who became the original eight Grey Knights, and that actually is a pretty big spoiler, so I'll let you find that in the books, people who want to learn that. And sent them to Titan, where they found a fully stocked and ready fortress monastery. And then Malkador the Sigillite hid the whole moon in a pocket dimension until the heresy was over. And so Titan reappeared with a full-fledged chapter because they had been building up their power and strength while they were hidden, while the second founding was happening. So just let your brain click on that for a minute.
That's convenient.
Now all Grey Knights are potent psychers. So every single one of them is a psyker. The mystery is gone. We now know everything about what Malkador did. We know who the first 8 Grey Knights were. We know about the formation of the Inquisition. Like all this stuff, all the mystery is gone.
Okay.
We know for sure that Gene Seed comes from the Emperor. They are still used against demonic threats. They are still the original Chamber Militant for the Inquisition. They have regular power armor now, which was a pretty big thing when that was announced back in like late 3rd, early 4th edition.
Okay.
They got swords, and they got a variety of guns instead of just the bolter tacked onto their halberd.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions so far?
Right now, what I'm dealing with is a squad of Grey Knights who all started with power armor and storm bolters. That was their basic allotment of equipment.
We're not there yet, Dan.
And
we're not there yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Matt Ward did some weird stuff.
Who's this guy? Is this Matt Ward? Is that Matt Ward there in the picture?
Matt Ward is a author at Games Workshop, or formerly of Games Workshop, and he did a lot of the work that he did during the end of fantasy battles and during what's kind of considered a dark time in the Warhammer 40k universe. He made massive changes to background and fluff, got a lot of blame for a lot of the changes that happened. Probably wasn't the one who asked for the changes, but was the one whose name got tagged onto them. So things didn't go well for him.
No.
But during this tenure, when he was kind of writing some crazy stuff, he was asked to do the Grey Knights Codex. And what came out of that was the new Supreme the Supreme Master of the Grey Knights, Kaldor Drago, was invented. And he is a superhero. Even for a Space Marine, he is the Superman of Space Marines.
Wow.
Wildly overpowered. Like, tickle wrestled a bloodthirster, the giant greater demon that you saw in the beginning of the game. Like, tickled him, forced him down on the ground, and then held him down while he carved the former Supreme Master's name into its heart. He also wrote a short story where the Grey Knights were fighting with some Sisters of Battle.
Wait,
and noticed
Kaldor Drago wrote a short story, or Matt Ward?
No, Matt Ward.
Okay.
Matt Ward.
Okay.
And during the battle, the Grey Knights noticed that the faith that the Sisters of Battle had in the Emperor was extraordinarily powerful against their demonic enemies. And so they did what, seems like the next logical step. They killed the Battle Sisters, covered themselves in their blood, and continued to fight the demons.
What?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Nobody really talks about that anymore. It's been completely retconned. But that's a thing that happened.
Okay. Were the Battle Sisters not allied with the Grey Knights?
They were.
So the Grey Knights just went on a murderous rampage
Yeah,
Okay.
it was Grimmy Darky.
Okay.
Grimmy Darky.
All right. They went full dark side for a second.
But
Okay.
for the Emperor, because it was to defeat the demonic entities.
Yes.
So you had to wear the blood of those faithful people that were fighting with you a second ago. Anyway.
Sure. That's not, certifiable.
That's why this section is called Matt Ward Did Weird Stuff. He also came up with the Dread Knight, which is not a dreadnought with a baby Bjorn. It is kind of like a Jaeger for Grey Knights to be able to fight greater demons. So they're at the same height.
Okay.
And
that's what we're seeing here in this image.
That is a Dread Knight in that image.
Okay.
That is correct. That is correct. They're actually a really good unit in the game, but until you get used to it, it does look a little bit like Space Marine Baby Bjorn.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you said that because now I can't not see that.
Yeah.
Before it looked like just a really badass like servo loader that Ellen Ripley uses at the end of Aliens.
Yeah.
But this one has guns and a giant force sword. But now all I'm seeing is Baby Bjorn.
Yeah.
And I'm a little upset with you right now.
That's fair. So this is Grey Knight organization in the tabletop game. I'm providing this background because I think it will help as you're going through the Daemonhunters in Chaos Game.
Okay.
The basics. The Grey Knights are not a Codex chapter. They do not follow Gilliman's Codex at all. They were set up before that even happened, and they came up with their own way to do things. They are set up as brotherhoods of about 100 battle brothers. So each brotherhood is like a company, but nobody really knows how many brotherhoods there are. Each brotherhood is led by a Grand Master. There is a Supreme Grand Master who functions like a chapter master would for other chapters. Kyle Drago is currently roaming the warp. He is the chapter master, and he currently just roams the warp like Kane from Kung Fu, kicking demon ass, and never going back to Titan. Like, he just shows up. He's one of those magical things that shows up when the Imperium is in dire trouble, and then all of a sudden a warp rift opens up. The Space Marine with a giant sword goes, kills a bunch of things, and then says, see you later, and pops right back into the warp. There are 8 known brotherhoods plus 2 veteran brotherhoods. We're going to get into that part a little bit later. And they're typically deployed in small forces on strike cruisers, very much like you see in your game.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll take like a squad or two and then put them out there and just be like, what's up? Because the amount of demonic incursions, especially in the modern 40k universe, is extraordinary. So they need to be a lot of places all at the same time.
Right. So I am currently serving as the Provisional Force Commander for Strike Force Zephos aboard the Baleful Edict. This is just one strike force among many.
Correct. And you're not even a brother captain or even a Grand Master. You are just a force commander. So you're somebody who is put in charge of this limited number of Grey Knights.
Yeah, I'm on like
strike cruiser.
I'm kind of like the shift supervisor.
Yes, exactly.
Got it.
Exactly. So we've got specialists that are specific to the Grey Knights. First are the Paladins, and they're a veteran brotherhood. They are the martial champions of the chapter. In order to be admitted into the Paladins, you have to show extraordinary martial prowess. Now, this is a very typical, like, hyperbolic thing that you see in 40k. Everybody is a master of a blade and the swipe and the who and the what. But honestly, like, any warrior that can survive longer than 13 hours in the 40k universe is probably pretty badass in the first place. And then if you put them in body-sized tank armor with a weapon that focuses your potent psychic might and can, cut steel in half, you're probably doing all right. So these guys are the best of the best. They're all Terminators in the Paladins.
All right.
They are typically assigned to like Grandmasters, Brother Captains. They're usually bodyguards for that kind of stuff. Purifiers are the other veteran brotherhood, and they are the spiritual heart of the chapter. These are Grey Knights who are so pure that warp creatures wither at their touch. They are anathema to the power of the warp.
How do I get one of them on the Baleful Edict?
We're getting there. We're getting
there. All right.
You know about Prognosticars. Those are the powerful psychers that help find demonic incursions in real space.
I had one, and I used it, and now I don't have access to it anymore. I think he died.
That's not good.
I mean, I had him attune to a planet, and it revealed data on multiple on the planets around it, and suddenly he was not available, or they were not available anymore. So I don't know if does attuning expend them, or I don't know.
That sounds like a game thing. It probably just needs to recharge. I'm not comfortable with sending people to their death just to get me some data. I mean, I can do a Google search that's
myself.
That's not very 40K of you.
I can.
People are pretty expendable in the 40K universe.
Okay.
Yeah. So just to be fair.
All right.
But honestly, based on what I've seen of the game so far, I don't think you killed your Prognosticar. I think it just has to. I think it has a cooldown, or you have to move to a different zone. So for what it's worth.
Okay.
And they also have chaplains and librarians, just like any other chapter.
Okay. All right. So far, Prognosticar is the only one with which I am familiar in terms of Chaos Gate Daemonhunters.
This will probably help out a little bit. So here are equivalents that we can make in the knowledge that you have of 40K and other things. So like a standard Space Marine captain for a Grey Knight is a brother captain. A standard sergeant for a Space Marine army is a Justicar for Grey Knights.
Okay.
A strike squad is the basic Marine unit. So a strike squad, that's your regular old, yes, I'm a 9-foot tall, suited power armor, Holy Bolter carrying Space Marine. That's the basic thing there.
Okay.
Then we've got Interceptor Squads.
Ooh.
Interceptor Squads are like a strike squad, but they each have personal teleporters on their back and can do small teleportation jumps across the battlefield.
Okay, I have an Interceptor on the Baleful Edict.
Yes, I know you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there more coming about them?
Oh God, yes.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I'll just shut up then.
We're barely halfway through.
Got it.
Yeah. A Purgation Squad, that's your heavy and special weapons. Those are your heavy gunners.
I have Purgators too.
Yep.
Okay, so give them the heavy weapons.
And then we've got the Purifier Squad. Now, technically, a Purifier Squad is a sub-version of the Purgation Squad. They're the incorruptible, like, Purifiers that I'd mentioned before. And they all carry special weapons like incinerators. And incinerators are flamers that, like flamethrowers, that normal Marines have, except they have holy oil attached to them as well. So they're especially effective against demons. It's basically a demon specific flamethrower.
Yeah. So flamethrower wielding soldiers called Purifiers. That's very Bradbury.
Grey Knight organization in the video game.
Okay.
Things are the same, but different. So we have 4 classes that are available at the start of the game where you're at right now.
Right.
The Justicar, the Interceptor, the Purgator, and the Apothecary. More come later in the game.
What?
But I'm not going to cover those here because you have not gotten there.
How do you know this?
Because some of us did some reading, Old Man Dan.
Listen, I want to experience the game naturally, organically, as it unfolds.
All the more reason why I'm not touching on the additional classes that are available.
This is why I don't watch movie trailers. I don't want no spoilers.
The Justicar.
Yeah.
In the purpose of the game, this is your Frontline Warrior. And I pulled this description from the description that the developers gave about what each unit is. So according to the developer, this is your Frontline Warrior that uses its crushing charge ability to blast through all obstacles and enemies lying in its path, stunning units in its path and sending them flying. The honor of the chapter ability then allows the Justicar to boost any ally's action points and willpower, letting them take more actions in a turn. And
that's a great VO
crushing
voice.
charge ability. That's going to come in. I want you to remember that because when we get to our conclusion page, I just want you to remember this. Okay.
I haven't seen that option yet, so maybe that's an upgrade that I have to build toward. Okay, good to keep that in mind.
The Interceptor.
Okay.
Fast-moving skirmisher whose teleport strike ability allows him to zip to a location, damaging enemies in its path and closing the distance to his target. Support fire is a reactionary ability that allows the Interceptor class to fire at an enemy at no cost when an ally does so.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
that must be something I can upgrade to as well, because that's not a thing. Okay, so the Interceptor, he's the guy that I should be giving the cool melee weapon to, and give him the Domina Liber Demonica, which adds bonus damage to melee attacks.
Makes a lot more sense to give him the Demon Hammer, yeah.
Okay.
Because he can close really fast and then bam. But also teaming them up with another knight, that's really solid.
Okay.
Because they do the support fire thing, and so anytime one does one, it will do it too. So you can really get them overlapping and helping out.
Okay.
Yeah. Purgator. Ranged heavy weapon specialist who has access to the Emperor's Light ability, which blinds enemies in an area with a blast of psychic energy, while also having a chance to remove mutations caused by the bloom. The Arcane Weapons ability sanctifies your allies' ammo, increasing the damage of their ranged attacks. You've got to give your Purgator back his side cannon.
Okay.
You gotta give him back his side cannon.
Give it back? Did I take it away?
Yes, you did! And you gave him a demon hammer! You gave your gunner a hammer! You got this guy, and he's like, I'm really good with a heavy bolter that has the purified holy bolts that contain a single tier of the Emperor's. You're like, give me that gun. He was like, wait, no, I shoot the gun. You're like, no, use a hammer now. He's like, I shoot guns. So yeah.
Oh man, you're bringing a hammer to a gunfight. Okay.
Yeah. You also have a couple really cool extra weapons that are in there. I think you need the side cannon more right now because you are still a defensive player. I think it's going to take you a little bit to finally get over that hump. But you're gonna need that. You're gonna need that side cannon, man. You're gonna need that side cannon.
Okay.
Also, wouldn't be bad. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a second. The Apothecary.
Okay, now come on, I'm using him right. I have to be.
Combat medic that can heal allies with his battlefield medicine ability, provided he has a Narthecium equipped and healing resources at the ready. Biomancies then buff his allies' abilities, granting them additional action points or increasing their chance to stun enemies. The thing you gotta remember about an Apothecary is that, like the Roughnecks in the Great Starship Troopers.
Right checks, Roughnecks!
Thank you. Everyone fights, nobody quits. And you know who's been quitting? Your Apothecary.
Really?
Yeah, because you don't move them in.
Because he's
Don't move him in.
Because okay, look, in XCOM, you keep your medic in the back because they need
This
to be
is
able
not
to.
XCOM.
They need to be able to rush up and heal and then get back so they
Do you
don't die.
see-
Because if they
do you
get
see
killed,
what's on his
you're
Dr.
done.
CM?
If the,
It's a chain blade to cut open armor and then a drill that sticks into people's chests. He's not here. He's a tank that has like, you know, like morphine. It's a tank with morphine, Dan. This is not some weak little baby that's like, oh no, I'm gonna Every member of your squad is a 9-foot-tall psychic tank.
uh-huh.
With guns. Like it just walks around and goes, die, fix you, die. Your apothecary has got to get in the fight. You saw in your last in episode 5, your apothecary like chopped down 3 people, taking no damage, because your apothecary is a fighter. He doesn't need to hold back. He needs to be right there, and especially because your folks are getting hurt, and your apothecary is way in the back, just like, hey, buddy. And
He's a busy
that
guy.
apothecary is doing no good in the background.
He's busy. He's keeping people healthy.
How? He's not close enough to him to keep anybody healthy. You had 2 people go down in game 5. 2 people went down in episode 2.
I did.
And
They
what was
survived.
your apothecary doing?
Die. He was going, hey, stop hitting my friends.
Totally. Yeah. What does all
Okay.
this mean?
You're doing it wrong. Okay.
They are knights, not soldiers. These are 9-foot-tall wrecking balls with psychic powers. They are not delicate.
Okay.
Thor Bolter, while a holy relic, a gift from the Emperor's mind, bestowed upon the Adeptus Astartes to rot out his holy judgment. It's an Overwatch weapon. That isn't your big gun. That isn't even your main gun. It's not doing that much damage. Your swords do twice as much damage as the bolter does for an action point. They're not really a range weapon. Your incinerator's a range weapon. Your silencer, when you play with that one finally, that's your range weapon. Your side cannon, your heavy bolter. Those are the ones that you get to sit back and shoot with. Otherwise, you are gonna go forward, just beat the hell out of it.
Okay. So ABC, always be closing.
Actually,
The
ABC,
distance.
always be charging.
Better.
As you'll see there, it is one of my bullet points. If they have melee weapons, you have to charge. You don't
Oh my
need
gosh,
to-
you've got ABC always be charging down
I wasn't
here.
kidding.
I didn't even see that. We made the
Yeah.
same joke.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. So if you've seen how time works in this game,
Mm-hmm.
the longer you take to get through, the more powerful the enemy gets. And man,
True.
once they got through 2 cycles of the bloom increase,
Yeah.
those were some tough enemies. And like I said, you've got 4 walking tanks, and you see how much damage they can do. So if you start teaming them up together, and
Trying some of their special abilities.
you're going to be able to take out a lot of shit.
Special abilities. Nani? Woo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so that is our history lesson.
Okay. What Dan doesn't know about Grey Knights?
How do you feel?
Humbled. I feel like I'm pretty good at XCOM, and I got through
You're not
Mutineer
pretty
Zero.
good at XCOM. You are excellent at XCOM.
I got
honestly.
through Mutineer Zero on hard mode pretty well. I had some early struggles, but I think by the end I had a really good strategy down pat, and I almost breezed through the end. Almost.
Mhm.
I had a couple of bumps, and so I took that hubris the high off of that success into this game, and I thought, oh, I beat Mutineer Zero on hard. I can totally take on Ruthless, which is hard on Chaos Gate Daemonhunters. I can handle this. It'll be a little rough in the beginning. It's so different. It is different. Okay, so full assault. Go on the offensive. I'm being
100%.
I'm being too defensive. Pay attention more to the damage output of my weapons, because I did not. What you just said was that my melee weapons do way more damage than the Storm Bolter.
Yeah, that Demon Hammer is going to be able to one shot most of the enemies in before they get their bloom boost.
Especially if I have the Liber Demonica as their war gear item. I'll be sad to lose the grenade, but it might make a difference because you get 2 extra damage with that book.
Yeah.
So, okay, all right. So I'm being too defensive.
Yeah,
definitely. And Purgators are heavy weapons.
Yep.
The Interceptors are fast attack, probably best equipped with my strongest melee weapons.
Or incinerators, if they can carry them. I think they can, because then you can jump them into crisis spots and just flame them down. And that's an area effect weapon. You don't have a lot of those.
Right, yeah. The incinerator, I might be the only one, unless the silencer is an area effect weapon as well. I haven't toyed with the silencer yet.
I'm not going to say anything about the silencer until you have a chance to play with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I didn't do full weapon descriptions in this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah.
That was good info.
I'm glad.
That was good info. I'm impressed.
Well,
that
I
you
found
did that
out when
research.
you started just making up lore for the soon to come Inquisitor Martyr game that I probably should pay attention a little bit more to what
we had a lore master for our first episode, and then he just never showed up again. So we had to start coming up with our own stuff.
You know what the worst
Do you see how critical you are, Loremaster Curtis, to this project? Do you get it?
Okay.
Now, finally, you see what happens?
It's starting to connect.
You see what happens when you don't show up for work.
That's the problem. I was showing up for work, which is why I couldn't show up.
Wrong work. The other work. The fun work.
The last advice I can give you is that it's 40K. So if a turn goes by and something didn't die, whether it's yours or ideally the enemy, you did something wrong. Every turn, something should be dying.
Got it.
And with the power that you have with these Grey Knights, there's no reason on turn 1 you shouldn't just be killing something. Even if it's a box of explosives, something should be dying.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Good. Well, I appreciate the guidance, Lore Master Curtis.
It is my pleasure. I just want to see you do better. It was really heartbreaking to see 2 Marines go into their resilience levels on this last one.
And they're both now gravely wounded and unavailable for like 2 months.
Yeah.
45 to 60 days, I think. And I can't be having that. Especially Iolanthus. Iolanthus is one of them, and he's my guy.
Yeah.
He was my Justicar. He was the squad leader, and now he's out of commission for 2 months.
Yeah. Although this does give you a chance to be able to kind of exercise what the abilities are in your other guys. I think that'll be good.
True.
Yeah.
Give them some.
I'm also dying with your what's it the requisition points. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, that was frustrating.
Yeah, I've made some mistakes with that. I misunderstood how those work. Yeah, I thought that selecting knights from the Grandmaster during that report would have him send me knights. It didn't. It just opened the door basically, for me to spend more requisition points to get knights.
Here's the thing to remember. There are an acknowledged 1,000 Grey Knights to cover an entire galaxy. So yeah, he's going to be a little stingy. He's going to be a little stingy because every Grey Knight is doing something.
I understand.
And you got to pull him away from something else to do it.
And especially, if I'm the provisional force commander and I'm just getting my dudes killed left and right, he's like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to send any more to you.
Yeah.
You're going to, in fact, you're relieved of duty. Go back to Titan. In fact, we don't even want you on Titan anymore. Just go somewhere.
Return the armor and equipment. Put it on the ship. You drop yourself off or whatever planet you're nearby, and just send the ship home.
Yeah.
Send it home.
Yeah. And if you can figure it out, put yourself on a planet that is due for exterminatus and save us all from your stupidity.
Yeah.
Really is what I'm sure Grandmaster Kai wants to say to me. Yeah. He just hasn't yet because he's being political and diplomatic at the moment.
I think the nice thing is now you've got the knowledge and education.
I hope so.
To be able to approach your next couple games in a better way.
Yeah. Well, knowledge is useless without the ability to apply it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I have episode 6 recorded. So you will not
don't expect changes until episode 7.
You will not see any of those lessons. In fact, episode 6 will probably come out before this, just so that nobody gets upset.
Okay. Very good. I can already feel my insides churning.
Yes, right. So
it's just a little bit of extra fun.
Oh, okay.
So from the Codex Imperialis, which is the 2nd edition background book, I found one of the images of the old Grey Knights from the thing here, and you can see he's fighting bloodletters with his Nemesis Force Halberd, and they're being shocked to death by the power that's going through the Force Halberd there.
Yeah, and am I nuts? But does that guy's helmet look a little Darth Vader-y?
Yeah, well, the design,
particularly in the concept art of Darth Vader, if you've ever seen that. I know you have, but I'm saying if you have ever, meaning to anybody who might be watching this, go look up Darth Vader concept art and you'll see almost what you just showed us. Right there.
The Terminator armor for Grey Knights had a psychic hood on it. So all of them had a psychic hood, which gave it kind of a Cobra Darth Vader effect.
Okay. And was that to amplify their abilities or to protect them from like chaos?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Yeah. So a psychic hood is able to help resist, similar to the helmet that Marcus in Mutant Year Zero.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Similar to the helmet that he had, that was able to help him resist.
Helm
psychics.
of Wisdom.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So psychic hoods back in the old days could just be resistance as well as a focus, but now they all have it.
Okay.
That little crown.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's just built into their armor now. Okay. And that's why they can all use Bolt.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, very good. Cool.
All right. Well, now I will return back to Holy Terra.
Oh no, we seem to be losing signal.
Oh no.
No, Loremaster Curtis, you've been so helpful for so long.
More games.